Off the last video, but basically I was just talking about some of the features. I got a little bit of more of an M21 look right now. The bipod on there is not exactly meant for it, it's just sitting on there, but you can get an M14 bipod that attaches on the barrel or right here. I was talking about bayonet lug. I made a discovery. I might have given some misinformation on the last video about the front sight being adjustable up and down. It isn't. The screw's only for windage. So if I mislead anybody on that, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, flash suppressor. That looks pretty badass. Gas tube again. Fiberglass stock, or plastic stock. Scope mount. I'll show you this. There we go. There's the scope mount there. And this here is just a big knob that goes in here and in here. I don't have the other knob in there right now because of you have to take out the stripper clip in order to get that in with the when it comes out. So what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to take out the stripper clip, I'm going to drill a hole in the side of it and rethread it for the actual scope mount screw. Like I said, that's just sitting there. So it gives you a pretty mean looking rifle. So the other thing about this rifle is the price. You shop around because they vary from price, place to place. I've seen them as high as almost $800. The very first time I saw one, I had no idea that these things were legal in Canada, and I saw one and I was just like, asked the guy in the shop. I said, "What is that thing?" And he said, "It's a M14." And I said, "Springfield?" He goes, "No. It was pretty far on the shelf, and I'd never seen an actual Springfield before." So he goes, "No, it's a norinco," and I'd never heard of norinco at that point in my life. I mean, again, I'm a bolt action guy. I never even looked into semi-autos until about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was about $800 then. I was like, well, for a semi-auto like that, I would have probably willing to pay it. So I did some research on it, and then I found all these places that were selling it for like, half the price. Marstar Canada, I think, has the best price on it, but they're never in stock. And talking to the guys there, they said most of the people that have them on back order probably won't get them, just because it's like $400, comes with 2 magazines, a case, the strap, and everything. I got this one from Frontier Firearms in Saskatchewan, and it was $461 and some odd cents, shipping and all. And it basically came rifle, strap, and the 5-round mag. That's all I got with it. But I mean, there's no other 308 I can think of that is that cheap. That looks pretty mean, doesn't it? I mean, tell me that's not intimidating. That's a beast of a rifle. It is a heavy rifle. I think they claim 8.8 pounds, something like that. I don't really care. I like heavy. Heavy's reliable. Heavy takes recoil. I don't care about microlight anything. I find usually the stuff that's built with stuff, names you can barely pronounce, and it's so light that it cracks after a couple of shots. I mean, 308 again, by no means is a 308 the biggest, heaviest, baddest round on the planet, but in a semi-auto, especially when you're shooting heavier grains like the 180 grains, gotta love these camera angles. I'm tripping over stuff here. When you're shooting 180 grain bullets, that's a lot of recoil. That's a lot of just vibration and whatever. Things break. So the scope mount I bought from Marstar as well. I think it was about $50. The bipod I think is about $80 if you get the proper one. It's a parkerized barrel. I guess you can see the parkerizing a little bit better from these angles. Basically, it's like it's not bare steel, so it won't rust or rot on you, type of thing. Chrome line bore. I guess I touched on all the specs of it. I don't know the exact twist rate of this rifle. I've been on the norinco site, but I can't access the information with my computer. It doesn't open up the page where it gives you all the specs, so I don't know what the bolt is. I heard the Rockwell hardness for these bolts were something like 48. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I told read. You will hear all kinds of rumors about the soft bolt issues with these rifles. Here's the thing: they used to be called Polytech M14s, and they had a few issues with the bolts, like everything China does. They build it as cheap as they possibly can to see how much money they can save, and then when it fails, then they say, okay, well, that's about as much money as you can save. Okay, we'll beef it up just a little bit before then. And that's what happened with the Polytech rifles. But I don't even think they were as bad as some people might think. But the odd one did blow up on people, so it is known. However, they fixed the problem, and they say it's to GI spec. So whatever the barrel recipe was, and the bolt recipe was for a Springfield, that's pretty much what they went with, in theory. So I'm just going to pause it here for a second. Okay, sorry about where it cut off in the last video, but basically I was just talking about some of the features. I got a little bit of more of an M21 look right now. The bipod on there is not exactly meant for it. It's just sitting on there, but you can get an M14 bipod that attaches on the barrel or right here. I was talking about bayonet lug. I made a discovery. I might have given some misinformation on the last video about the front sight being adjustable up and down. It isn't. The screw is only for windage. So if I mislead anybody on that, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, flash suppressor. That looks pretty badass. Gas tube again.